Welcome back to our online class. Dear learners, let me first introduce myself. I am Mohammad Abdul Razzaq, Assistant Teacher English, Kuliarchar Government High School, Kuliarchar, Kishorganj. Former Lecturer of English, Aftabuddin School and College, Bajitpur, Kishorganj. Dear learners, in the previous class, I talked about conditional sentence belong to completing sentence to make you understand how to complete the incomplete sentences. Dear students, I am going to discuss some different rules of completing sentences today, and let me first write the topic of the day. Completing sentences. Yes, completing sentence. Dear students, after completing this topic, I think you will have a good idea about completing sentences and you can complete the incomplete sentences. Finally, dear students, you will be able to get the full marks in the examination. So, dear students, the words on which we will discuss and explain today, let me first on the whiteboard. Number 1, when or while. 2, since. 3, before or after. Number 4, though or although. Number 5, as though or as if. Number 6, so that. Number 7, lest. Number 8, it is time. It's high time. 9, as soon as. And number 10, no sooner had ... than. Scarcely had ... when. And hardly had ... when or before. Dear students, I will discuss these words by which generally the completing sentences are made. Let's start. When. Dear students, when or while, though they indicate the same Bengali meaning, but there are many differences between these two words. Let's see in the example. Number 1, when he went to library, he bought some He bought some books. When he went to library, he bought some books. Dear students, it's a very remarkable fact here that if the sentence starts with when and the clause is past tense, the next clause, that is the principal clause, will certainly in the past tense, because you have to complete the sentence according to rules and meaning. So dear students, when he went to library, the clause that indicates the incident of past. So we have to write the next part of the sentence in the past tense. He bought some books. Dear students, let's see another example of when. We go to school. When it is 10 o'clock. Dear students, we go to school when it is 10 o'clock. Here the clause, subordinate clause, is in present tense. So the principal clause has been in present tense. So for these two examples, we can learn that you have to complete the another clause according to meaning and tense. You should follow these two rules. Dear students, there are different rules of these different words, but I am going to present here the most important rules of used in different sentences. So dear students, let's see the example of while. While going to school, I saw him. While going to school, I saw him. Dear students, you should remember that while is used in the sentence, and if there is no subject after while, you will use ing with the main verb. If there is no subject, yes, if there is no subject after while, you will use just ing with the main verb. So while going to school, I saw him playing. Let's see another example. I ate rice while I was watching TV. Dear students, follow here. I ate rice while I was watching TV. If you find subject after while, you should use the continuous tense. Yes, continuous. What kind of continuous? If the another clause is in past tense, you should use past continuous tense. If this sentence might in present tense, you should use present continuous. There are many uses of while, but these are the most important uses of while words. Dear students, I think you have understood. Next one is since. Look at the example. Since, this is the example of 5 months have passed. since I met you last. 5 months have passed since I met you last. Dear students, notice here since is used as the conjunction of this sentence. Two clauses, 5 months have passed since I met you last. Two clauses has been connected with these words since. The students, if you find present tense before since, if you find present tense before since, you should use past tense after since. If the sentence of since in present tense, the next clause will be in past tense. Dear students, let's see another example. Yes, 5 months, 5 months passed since I had met you last. Dear students, notice here the clause with since or the clause before since is in past tense. Yes, this is past tense, simple past tense, past indefinite tense. So the next part of the scene will be past perfect tense. Yes, the structure of past perfect tense is subject plus head plus past participle of the main verb. Right, you are right. So dear students, I think you have understood. If the clause before since is in present tense, the next clause will be in past tense, and if the clause before since is in past tense, you should use past perfect tense after the since. So dear students, the total answer is 5 months passed since I met you last. Yes, I think you have understood. Next, I am going to discuss about before or after. Before or after. Let's see the example. He had done the work. Done the work. Before you, when before is used as the connector or conjunction in the past tense, past perfect tense or past perfect continuous tense, you should notice that the clause before will be past perfect tense and the next clause will be past indefinite tense. So he had done the work before you came. Let's see another example of it using after. Yes, you came here after he had done the work. Yes, he came here after he had done the work. Dear students, the most noticeable fact here that if there is used after in a past perfect or past perfect continuous tense, you should use past perfect continuous or past perfect as after. Yes, after. And the another clause must be in past indefinite tense, such as he came here. This is past indefinite tense, and after he had done the work, this is past perfect tense. So dear students, I think you have understood. Next one is though or although. Though or although. let me sweep the board. Though or although, dear students, both the words indicate the same meaning. Let's say in example, though he is poor, he is happy. Dear students, though he is poor, he is happy. If though or although is used in a sentence and you are asked to complete it, you should remember that you have to use the opposite meaning of the clause with though or although. Yes, the clause with though or although. You have to use the opposite meaning in the next clause, such as though he is poor, he is happy. How? Because it is so much difficult to be happy being poor. Yes, so we have to write the opposite meaning of the clause. Next clause. Let's say another example. Although, the meaning of though or although is same. Although he is rich, he is miser. Yes, this is also the opposite meaning of this clause. Though he is rich, he is miser. The rich should not be miser because they have so much ability to do something. Yes, so in this sentence we have used though or although. So the next clause has been the opposite clause. Though he is rich, he is miser. Though he is rich, he is unhappy. Though he is rich, he is not happy. You can write any one of them. The students, next one is as though, as if. Yes, as though, as if. Let's see the example. He speaks as though he were a president. He speaks as though he were a president. Yes, if as though or as if is used in a sentence, the next sentence or clause will be unreal past or past indefinite. Yes, this is unreal past. He speaks as though he were a president. We have used here where with he, which is generally not correct. But in this case, if we use as though or as if in a sentence, we must write it. So this clause is called unreal past, unreal past tense. Let's say another example. He pretends as if he knew everything. He pretends he knew everything. Yes, we find some people around us who pretend they knew everything. Yes, if we as if or as though is used in a sentence, if the sentence before as if is in present tense, the next clause must be past tense. Yes, past tense. And if there is past tense before as if, we have to use past perfect tense, such as he pretended as if he had known everything. He pretended as if he had known everything, right? If the clause before as if is in past tense, the next clause will be past perfect tense. Dear students, do you understand? Yes. Next one is so that. It's a very common connectors. I think you know it. She works hard. She works hard so that she can shine. She can shine. The students, notice here that so that is used in this sentence. So she works hard so that she can shine in life. If there is so that in a sentence, the next clause should be according to the clause before so that. This clause is in present tense, so the next clause is present tense. You have to complete the incomplete sentence according to meaning also. You should rules, but you should follow rules, but you have to follow or notice the meaning of the sentence. And dear students, it's a noticeable fact here that you should use can or could after the subject of the next clause. If the tense is in present tense, you should use can or may. If the clause would be in past tense, you have to use could or would. Let's see an example. She worked hard so that she could shine. Yes, she could shine. If the clause before so that is past tense, the next clause will be in past tense according to meaning. Yes, according to meaning. And if the clause before so that is in present tense, the next clause will be used. The next clause will be in present tense. So it should be remembered, after so that, whenever you use any subject, you have to use after the subject can or could, may or might. So dear students, I think you have understood. Next one is lest. Yes, this is a very important word and rule. Lest. He runs fast lest he should miss the train. He runs fast lest he should miss the train. Dear students, let's indicate something which will be missed. Yes, so he runs fast lest he should miss the train. The cause of missing the train, he has to run fast. So dear students, if the sentence is he walks slowly lest he should fall down. He should fall down. Dear students, he walks slowly lest he should fall down. If he may fall, so he is very careful. So he walks slowly lest he should fall down. Here you should remember after lest. What kind of word as subject you use? After subject you have to use should. Yes, should. So it is very noticeable fact here that after lest when you use any subject, you should use should after the subject. Understand? Yes. Next one is it's time, it's high time. It's time, it's high time. This indicates the perfect time of doing something. Yes, the perfect time of doing something. It's time or it's high time. These two phrases indicates the same meaning. Yes, the two phrases indicate the same meaning, such as it is high time. It's high time. What? It's high time we changed our bad habits. Yes, yes, it's high time we changed our bad habits. The students, if the sentence starts with it is high time or it's time, we should use the next clause in past indefinite tense or past simple past tense. This is in present tense, but the next clause has been in past tense. You should remember it. Let's say another example. It's time. It's time. They prepared themselves. It's time they prepared themselves. Dear students, there is another rule of it's time or it's high time. It's time. Yes, it's time. You can use infinitive in this sentence. It's time to do something for the poor. It's time to do something for the poor. Yes, students, I think you have understood. If the sentence starts with it is time or it is high time, if the next clause starts with subject, if the next clause starts with subject, you should use past form of the main verb. That means past indefinite tense or simple past tense. And if you don't use any subject, it's time or it's high time, you can use infinitive. Yes, infinitive. Infinitive means using to before the base form of the verb. Understand? Yes. Next one is as soon as. Dear student, this is another important rule of completing sentence. As soon as. As soon as the teacher, as soon as the teacher came, they stood up. As soon as the teacher came, they stood up. Dear students, you should complete the sentence according to the meaning of the previous sentence. As soon as the teacher came, the student stood up. This is past indefinite tense and this has been past indefinite tense. I think you have understood. Next one is no sooner had. No sooner had, scarcely had, and hardly had. Yes, hardly had. The students, if you find no sooner had, you should follow these rules. No sooner had dot dot then. Dot dot means there will be used some words between dot dot or in dot dot. Let's see the example. No sooner had we reached the station dilam. No sooner had we reached the station, the train left. Dear students, you should remember here that you have to use then. You should use then between the two clauses. No sooner had we reached the station then the train left. You have to use then between the two clauses. This sentence is called inversion of sentence. Yes, notice here there is no subject at the beginning of the sentence. No sooner had, this is the subject of the sentence, but it has been settled after at least 1, 2, 3 words. 1, 2, 3 words. The subject has been settled at least after 3 words. So dear students, this kind of sentence is called inversion of sentence, right? Next one is scarcely had. Scarcely had he come here when it rained. This is verb. Dear students, scarcely had he come here when it rained. Dear students, in this sentence we have used then, but here we have to use when. If the sentence starts with scarcely had, you need use when between the two clauses. Yes, between the two clauses you should use when. Let's see the next and last example of these different words. Hardly had. Hardly had you gone there. When you may use when or before in this case. Before he came. Before he came. Yes, students, notice here. Hardly had you gone there, when or before he came, you will use just one out of these two words. In the exam, you will use one word out of two words. You may use when or before if the sentence starts with hardly had. The students, do you have any question? The explanations and examples of this discussion. Do you have any question? Okay, you are so much brilliant. I think you all have understood these explanations and definitions and examples. Dear students, if you don't understand any part of these, you will have a chance to comment in my comment box. Dear students, That's all for today. Thank you very much. Bye.